Welcome to the news show. This week we've got Randall goes to Austria and tears that place a new one. MeatEater Live, the Christmas tour is even realer than Santa. Roadless rule updates. Does banning drone use for shark fishing save swimmers from getting mauled by sharks? The wild horse situation is out of control in the American West. The Trump administration is taking steps to fix it, and some people are, of course, pissed about that. Coloradan voters will have a chance to help right the ship in November. An old dead dude got found in the woods a long time ago thanks to a forest fire, which kind of grabs you by the boo-boo, and more. Now, on to our news. I'll tell you what our news is. One of the pieces of our news. MeatEater Live, the Christmas tour is coming your way. We are in a pre-sales phase here. It's a pre-sales phase. Meaning these tickets are not for sale. Soon there will be a pre-sale. And in the genius of marketers, that means they're for sale. Then they will become more for sale.
So you can't buy them now.
It's pre-sale.
Right.
Okay. When can I buy them?
But they will be for sale during the pre-sale and the sale.
They go on sale at the pre-sale.
Mm-hmm.
They remain on sale at the sale.
Mm-hmm.
We're pre-sale. So there's nothing you can do.
So this is a pre-sale, non-sale period.
Correct.
The more it's discussed, the
technical.
more confusing it gets.
If you want, no. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to tell you about tickets that you cannot buy. But you can mark your calendar. On September 14th, you can buy them. On some other date later, you can buy them even more.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, December 14th, we will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I graduated from regular college. This was my third try, my third school. 20 Monroe Live. That's the venue we're going to be at. Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's going to be a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
We will be joined by the last American smelt dipper, Matt Drost. I've already got our special guest lined up for the night there. Tuesday, December 15th, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Turner Hall. That's going to be a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
These are guaranteed laugh nights. You are guaranteed. I challenge you to find someone that went to the Christmas show and would give it a thumbs down. December 16th, Madison, Wisconsin, Bubbly Doug, special guest there, among others, at the Barrymore. Thursday, December 17th, Des Moines, Iowa, Val Air Ballroom. December 18th, a Friday night, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Pantages Theater. Not contagious, Pantages.
Oh, thank God.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
If they
Contagious
changed it to the Contagious Theater. Saturday, December 19th. What's funny about Contagious and Pantages is we had to cancel the Pantages because of the Great Contagion of 2019.
But we also did another Pantages.
Did we?
There was a Pantages one in the Northwest that we did.
What the hell does that even mean?
It was a big
I don't
theater
know.
guy, Alexander Pantages, owned 84 theaters.
Are you just pulling
really?
it out of your ass?
Nope.
Phil ought to know that.
That's amazing.
Big
That's
theater guy
news
back
to me.
there.
Theater guy.
Shows you how big of a theater guy that big theater guy
No,
is.
Nate's always went up in me.
Thank you, Nate.
It's like a teeny theater guy. Last show of the trip, December 19th, before everybody has to get home to their families. Fargo, North Dakota at the Fargo Theater. Cannot wait to see you guys there. Lots of prizes, lots of laughs, lots of people drinking beer.
Some holiday cheer.
Years ago, we did a show in Billings at the Alberta Bear, and we broke the booze record that had been held. We broke the booze sales record, which had been held by Rob Schneider.
It's pretty good company.
A buddy of mine, this is weird. He's probably the only guy on the. A buddy of mine had been there for David Sedaris a few nights before we went. And
Different
he
crowd.
pointed out,
Yeah.
he said, man, the mask habits The masking habits of the David Sedaris crowd were extremely different than the masking habits of our crowd. And then I pointed out to him that we now broke the booze record. And he said, well, I think it's a lot easier, in reference to Sedaris. He said it's a lot easier to carry 2 Busch Lights than 2 Chardonnays. So there that is. What's this now?
My hunting in Austria.
Oh, but I want to go a little bit out of order here because I just want to hit something real quick.
Sure.
No, go ahead. No, I want to go a little bit out of order.
Yep.
Apologies, Nate.
Sure.
Just while I'm fired up. I have a Honda 7000 EU generator.
That won't fire up?
I'm going to keep this very quick. Can you reset the shot clock?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Phil invented this new thing. We can tell how long we're spending on a topic.
Yeah.
For reference, live tour is supposed to be 2 minutes. It went for 5.
Well, I'm going to
For a
borrow
good
time.
start.
How long do I have for this? I'm going to borrow time from this for
5
that.
minutes. I think the timer
I
was
have
a
5 for
mistake.
this?
So you got 2 now.
Oh, great. I have a Honda 7000 EU generator. It has a mystery ailment that no mechanic can solve. I've taken it to town 2 times to have it fixed. Both times it has come back not resolved. If you write in, don't give me any BS about fuel filters. Don't give me any BS about fuel pumps. This generator will run for hours under load and then inexplicably shut off. Then it'll run for hours and inexplicably shut off. No mechanic has the patience to fix it, start it, put it under a load, and let it run out in the driveway or parking lot, and then go like, oh, wow, shut off. They don't have the patience for it. I'm wondering if there isn't something like, you know how you have a low oil shut off? What if that sensor went haywire? Or something. Don't send me easy fixes. This is like it's haunted by a devil.
An exorcism.
Crystals.
It needs like an exorcism. It's old. I don't know how old it is. It's not 10 years old. We have a fleet of generators. It's impossible to keep at least one running. A Honda EU 7000 just inexplicably turns off. When you start it up, it's ready to rock. Don't be telling me about fuel pumps.
Steve almost didn't bring this up because he said the audience is only going to tell him
About fuel pumps.
dumb things. Yeah, easy things. So you got to really like.
Sure, try cleaning the spark plugs. It's like I don't want to hear about things that an idiot can fix because I've fixed all the idiot parts.
Steve is challenging you.
I need a guy that knows these things like his own mother.
I'm surprised you can't find a mechanic that wants to charge you the hourly rate for a couple hours just sitting there watching the machine vibrate.
Does it
No.
great.
It's funny. They'll work on it. I'll ship it to town, which is hundreds of dollars. Ship it back. They'll work on it, but you go like, "Can you do me a favor? Do you mind just running it like run it for a day under a load? Put a box fan on it. I don't care. Run it and see." No, that's not something we can do.
Too busy.
Meanwhile, I run it round the clock.
Yeah.
So if you got an idea, the MeatEater podcast
A complex
at
idea.
themeateater.com.
Yeah. Not a complex idea, but like high level mechanic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Subject line, generator exorcism.
I own. I'm at the risk of running over time. I own a Honda. I own a Honda, an old Honda EU 3000. I own a Honda 5000. I own a Honda EU 7000. They're all old. Someone might say, but it sounds like it's time for a new generator, but I'm not there yet. Randall just is back from hunting in Austria.
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Oh, it was amazing. I was over in Austria for I think 9 days. Hunted roe deer up in northern Upper Austria, near the German border, and then I went south and hunted chamois or chamois.
Yeah,
Or
is it pretentious? Do they say chamois?
So I got at least from the perspective of our host, who they call it gams there.
Oh,
Like
I've never heard that.
Yeah, which if you think about it, like chamois and gams, like you can imagine the transition between French and German. A lot of words sort of.
No.
Okay.
No.
But yeah, gams is gams is the German term. And then they said chamois, I think, is the appropriate pronunciation. But then they say
Yes.
the Kiwis call it chamois.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people
Well,
just
my
call
old
it
man
chamois.
was a big fan of chamois cloths.
Yeah.
And he called them a chamois cloth. He didn't call it a chamois cloth.
I know. But they pronounce it chamois.
It's not ShamWow.
I like saying gams. And then
Yeah.
and then a buck is a gamsbach.
Mm.
Like a gemsbach, but a gamsbach.
that's confusing.
Gemsbuck and a chamois are not the same thing.
No, it's a word. It's gams. A gamsbach. A gams is a chamois and a bach is a buck.
Got it.
So it's a gamsbach. A gemsbach is a gems that's a buck.
This is more confusing than the pre-sale.
You want me to start
And this is
over?
like this could create problems because picture that you're in a situation where you're with your kids
Yeah.
and there's a gemsbuck and a gamsbach together,
Mhm.
but one is strictly forbidden,
Right.
and you're yelling, "Shoot the gamsbuck!" and they shoot
Yeah.
the wrong one.
Yeah. So anyway, the roe deer hunting was very cool. They rut in the middle of the summer. So they have a delayed implantation of the fertilized egg. They start rutting, gosh, like 60 or 80 days after they give birth to their fawns. And they rut in the middle of the summer so that
It's like a buffalo.
the theory goes that they aren't going to stress themselves with all the rutting behavior and activity in the lead up to winter, so they can rut. The egg gets fertilized; it doesn't implant in the uterus until December or so.
Okay.
So it's weird to be hunting bucks in the rut when it's 90 degrees out, but they're really
It was
active.
that hot there,
Yeah,
but you're in a high elevation.
there we weren't so high, but I mean Europe has had a pretty hot summer.
Mhm.
A lot of wildfires. We didn't have any smoke, but it's kind of like coyote hunting. You go to a stand, you call for 45 minutes.
Really?
Then you go to another stand, you call for 45 minutes. And if there's deer there, they come in. They might come in stealthily. They might come ripping in. We didn't have any that came into like 5 feet or 10 feet, but they will do that. We had some that came into 20.
What percentage of stands were you having seeing does or hinds or whatever they call them?
At least half.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
God, that'd
there's
keep
a
it
lot
fun,
of deer.
man.
The other cool thing is when you're driving around in Upper Austria, you think it's like the most huntingest place you've ever been. We were never out of sight of 2 like tower blinds. Like when you're driving down the road, if you just stopped and looked around in a circle, you're going to see half dozen tower blinds in any given direction.
It's like driving around Doug's place in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Sounds like Michigan too.
Yeah, and then at one point we were sitting by the lake at this cafe. I was talking with my host just about the hunting culture there, and I was saying this is the one place where we haven't seen a hunting blind. And then we look across this lake that has sailboats and people out and everything, and you can see there's a little clearing up in the woods. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's a blind up there, and it was. So we were never out of sight of a deer blind. the whole
Homemade,
time.
or are they buying American-made blinds?
They're all homemade. A lot of them, it's like milled out of local timber. It's not like
Okay.
dimensional from the hardware store or anything. And a lot of them are old. I climbed up in one tree stand that was probably 30 or over 35 feet high, and the crotch board was grown in over the tree, like more than halfway, to the point that the two big trunks of the tree were almost touching.
Got
That
it.
subsumed the whole crotch board.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see that hunting culture. Obviously, there are fewer hunters over there, and it's harder for someone to become a hunter because hunting is tied to land ownership, and the tag allocation is tied to the land ownership. They either have, if you have a big enough property, you have sort of your own quota that you're required to fill by the state. If there's a bunch of smaller properties, they make what's called a community hunt, where they sort of have a hunting HOA that the state facilitates, and then off of those properties, they have a quota they have to hit.
Got it.
So what they do is they build exclosures, and someone will come out from the state with the property manager, and they'll look at what impact the wildlife are having on the area outside of the exclosure compared to inside the exclosure.
To make a determination.
To make a determination of what the load of the wildlife
Really?
is
That's
on
how
the
they do
landscape.
that?
Yeah, and it's really interesting, like especially with the road deer. I mean, they talk about it.
How big of an exclosure do they make? Just like a sample patch?
They're like 20. The ones we looked at were probably like 20 yards by 20 yards. And
No
they go
kidding,
and
really?
they count the species, they
Yeah.
count the density of growth, and so you'll just be driving through this big estate and you'll see different exclosures.
Dude, I'd be in there fertilizing that little thing and like
And what's really interesting is like when they talk about how they manage the roe deer, they talk about it almost in the same, because the forester manages the wildlife as well.
Okay.
So each property will have like a forester, and he'll tell you how many board feet are coming off that property, and he'll tell you how many deer are coming off that property.
Okay.
And he'll talk about managing for different age classes with the wildlife in the same way that they're talking about manage for different age classes within the forest. And they're like, we don't talk about any of it on its own. It's all part of this holistic view of how they manage the property.
Sure.
It's wildlife and trees.
Do they name bucks?
No. He said some of the bucks people will know. They don't name them, but
They'll know old split tines and
no, I mean, we didn't encounter that, but they said there will be guys that get to know certain bucks over the years.
Okay.
But it's not like they get reserved for anybody. It's just sort of the forester will know that this buck exists.
yeah.
They live in pretty small territories and they run through the woods like antelope out on the prairie. Like we saw a buck chasing a doe, and it looked like birds weaving through the trees. Just
Oh, really? Yeah.
Really active. I mean, we saw deer every day. We had deer come in when they spook. When the buck spooks,
Mhm.
if he wins you, they'll bark. It's
like what?
Brr, brr. Like the first time I heard it, I thought it was a dog.
Really?
Because people,
That's his warning call.
yeah. Because they also, the other thing is they have right to roam over there. So people, even though we're on private property, people from the community come out to walk their dogs or ride
Yeah.
their bikes and stuff.
Scotland has that right to roam,
Yeah,
but you can't. It doesn't mean you can hunt.
yeah. That's same deal
You can
here.
roam, but you can't hunt.
Same deal here.
Yeah.
And there's some restrictions on the roads, like some roads you can bike on, some you can't. But when I shot my first buck, it was early in the morning, and I'm glad we shot it when we did, because 15 minutes later, there's some old ladies walking their dog on the road right past us, and
Mhm.
guys riding their bikes past us. So it was really interesting to see that how interwoven the hunting is with just people getting outside like it's on public land, but it is private.
Yeah.
Is there any public opportunity out there?
No, if there is, it's very, very, very limited. It's all private land from my understanding. And to become a hunter over there, you have to go through a very serious hunter ed course that involves like you have to learn about tracking dogs. You have to learn about all kinds of stuff. You have to learn how to analyze the organs of the deer for signs of disease. Because when you harvest a deer, it's going to go to market. So that's the other side of it, is the deer, once it's killed, it doesn't become the property of the hunter, it becomes the property of the state. And so,
Hold on a minute, back up.
huh?
Like, that's just you have no right to have a bite of that thing.
No, I mean, from what I understand, like the hunter could buy it back from the estate, but it's the property of the estate.
Oh, I thought you said the state.
No, sorry, the estate. Yeah,
It makes total sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
I thought you meant like Austria.
right. No, it's property of the estate.
Understood.
And they talk about it.
You probably say the same thing technically. No, I guess you couldn't. No, I get what you're saying.
Because like
though.
when you buy a tag here and you put your tag on that animal is now your property.
Yeah, but the estate could be like, hey, let's party
Mm-hmm.
and cook the whole thing up or whatever.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay, yeah.
And we did one of the animals. When we went chamois hunting, we were going to take this chamois to the butcher who processes
Did you
them.
get one?
Yeah,
Was he up in the mountains?
yeah. We're in steep, high country. I shot 2 yearlings, so it's very much like a cull program.
Okay.
The big bucks, you only can hunt them in the rut because they live very solitary lives in the timber. But I shot 2. The most memorable part of that is the angle that you're shooting and then the recovery. So we got into some sketchy stuff on the recovery Chris Gill compared it to the mountain goat hunt.
Oh, Ridge Pounder was with you? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
and he got stuck a couple times, and our host had to come up with his big Austrian trekking staff and jam it in the side of the mountain under his feet so he could have a
No
foothold.
way.
Really?
I also fell when we were coming down with the chamois. I passed it off to. I was dragging it
Because it's how big?
Oh, it's like a dog. They're like 60 pounds maybe.
You know, people use that all the time, but dogs are such different sizes.
That's a great point.
I don't think it's that
That's
helpful.
a great point. It's like a 60-pound dog.
Like it's like a whale.
If
Well,
that.
what kind of whale?
I think the one of the roe deer that we weighed, it weighed gutted. It weighed like 15 or 16 kilos, so like mid 30 pounds.
Got it.
And
Easily carry
the
it over
chamois,
your shoulder.
the chamois were smaller than that. Yeah, actually, with the roe deer, one of them, we gutted it and then cut the. You know how Heather does the backpack thing?
Yeah.
They have a thing where they make a little suitcase. So you cut the tendon, you put the legs through, and then you fold it, and then you just walk out with a little suitcase.
Sure.
But yeah, I fell coming off one of the chamois recoveries and had one of the Austrian mountain staffs with me that uses like a self-arrest. And I slid down this grass. They were actually filming at the time, but I slid out of the frame of the camera because I went down so far. Like,
It's gonna look good.
I
It's gonna look good on the film.
I slid between the rocks and
Faster than they could move the camera.
I had enough time in my mind. I was like, shit, maybe I should push harder on this thing to stop. And then I did that. And then I had time to think, I guess I need to push harder than that. And I had several conversations with myself about whether I was applying the appropriate amount of pressure. So, but we were bringing one of those chamois to the butcher who butchers them for market. And we went to this little house.
But at what point does the estate transact? Do they transact at the counter selling finished cuts? Do they transact at the butcher?
So I don't know exactly how the money changes hands, but they, like where we hunted roe deer, they have one butcher pretty much that does everything for them.
Okay.
And we went to him, and his daughter was there. She spoke English, so she explained it. But they both showed us how they like what you'd see in the package. So like they'd laid it out, two back straps and two tenderloins. That do the rear, like the big rear muscle group. Everything's attached and just gets wrapped up like that, so you can cut it how you want.
Okay.
They make stew meat. They make burgers. They do all the sausage products. I did actually eat all of the sausage products they make. It's a lot. But then when it's marketed, you can see on the packaging the forest that it comes from.
Okay.
And the name of the estate.
But you're seeing it for sale where? At the butcher, or he's passing it along to the grocer?
You can buy them at the grocer.
Okay.
You can buy them at the butcher.
I see.
The butcher has a vending machine actually out on the road that only sells wild game. And so you can go up and there's, like a pack of steaks. There's a tenderloin. There's a bunch of summer sausage. There's fresh brats.
You just
There's
chunk
hot
quarters
dogs.
into that thing.
Yeah, I swiped the MeatEater business card in it probably a dozen times because we had to get all the different angles for the film.
Val's sitting there like, what in the world?
I know. I'm sitting there. It was like
Val's like, I'm turning this card off.
It was almost like we could have recorded the noise because I would swipe it and it would go beep, and then the thing would go thunk, and then my phone would go ding with the like, please explain this expense, and we just did that over and over and over.
What were the prices like?
It's like a pack of Frankfurters, so like just a pack of roe deer hot dogs.
Mhm.
I think it was like €6 or €7,
Which
something
is
like that. Like probably $8, $9, $10. But yeah, it's really interesting. It's obviously like a self-contained system that works. It's so foreign to us in terms of how the opportunity is allocated and what happens to the meat afterwards. But they even though it would seem very transactional and again, a lot of it's culling and management, and you sort of think of that as like not very romantic. Like there's still this very serious tradition and culture and romanticism around hunting these animals.
But it's like it's regarded as a thing of enjoyment, or it's a chore.
Absolutely, it's a thing of enjoyment.
Okay,
and like there's still that same passion, even though it's very different from what we do. When I think of guys that are culling 200 deer off of an estate or off of a property, I sort of think of that as like whack 'em and stack 'em.
Yeah.
And this was like we could have sat on a field edge and shot bucks, at dawn and dusk, whatever. But we were, the only way Phil hunts them, who is my host on the deer hunt, it's like you go into the woods and you call them.
Boy, it's too bad you went all the way to Austria and there's a guy named Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
He didn't have a more Austrian. I'd want a guy with a crazy name.
And it was his cousin is Mateus,
which
is good.
Yeah, like that,
and then chamois hunting, I went with Paul.
It's like Phil. Right. I already know a ton of Phils.
Yeah, I know. I got a lot of Phils. I got Phil. But yeah, super cool experience. And like the amount of like the first 5 days, I don't think we ate outside of someone's dinner table. Every night they were cooking roe deer.
Right?
Yeah, and we pretty much only ate wild game. Because they sell it, but they also eat it, right? So when they bring a bunch of deer to the butcher for them to sell, it's like, we're going to take this one. And the butcher sent us home with a big thing of sausage to cook out that night. But
it's totally different. But that was like being at like the camps in Africa.
Yeah.
There is no domestic meat option.
Yeah.
Jimmy, it's just every meal, it's always wild game.
Yeah. And we had, I think the last night when we had this big dinner with all the families and the kids and everything, we probably had 20 people there. We had roe deer backstraps. We had roe deer steaks from the rear quarter that had been marinated. We had roe deer brats. We had roe deer franks. They do another thing where they wrap the frank in bacon and do that. You kind of feel like you're in Texas at some points. But we probably had roe deer 5 different ways.
Is that the favorite of the chamois and the roe deer? Is roe deer the good one, or do they like the chamois too?
I can't say. I don't think I don't think there's a chamois harvest that's as and just in the numbers. Like I don't think it's the same. Yep. So roe deer, like when you buy dog food there. When they go to the butcher, all that trim, like everything that you'd put in your scrap pile or maybe give this to the dog, that goes to a dog food processor. So you can buy a can of dog food that says in German, roe deer, and then the dogs eat basically burger.
God, it's got to be some good dogs.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And that was the other fun thing is we hunted deer and chamois with dogs the whole time. Like we had the Bina was the dog that came with us roe deer hunting.
What's his job?
You'd climb up in the stand, you'd tie her to the ladder. And she'd just sit there silently, and then once you shoot, she's just fired up, and you take her to the blood trail and let her loose.
Oh, her job is finding.
Yeah, so they trail everything with dogs.
Even if you saw it like lay dead out in the field.
Yeah, just good practice.
Okay,
what breed?
Just good practice. Bina was like a fox terrier. She was like a tiny little. She was 13 and pretty deaf. Except for the gunshots. And then the dog we took chamois hunting, I'm not going to remember. I can't remember the breed of Ixie, but she was a bigger dog. Almost like, she was kind of a hound, like a short hound, but not like what you'd think of not like Mingus.
Yeah.
But like a shorter kind of hound dog.
What was their general attitude? Do they hang out with a lot of Americans? Were they hip to what Americans are all about?
Yeah. So they have a business selling American hunting brands over in Europe. So they're a retailer for First Light and FHF, and they travel the US a lot, and they're familiar with this. So one of the funny things was Phil, when I went to go hunt chamois with Paulie, Philip. When I went to go hunt chamois in southern Austria with Paulie, I was like, Phil, are you going to come down? And he goes, it's like, what you're asking me to do, he's like, this is the first week of August. What you're asking me to do is to ask like a Texas whitetail nut to leave his whitetail spot in the middle of the rut.
Oh, he had that
analogy. He had that analogy up his sleeve. So they're very conversant. So
were they giving you I was in Italy this summer, and all the Italians have to come up and tell you how much they hate Trump, but they don't hold it against you. Did you find like that kind of thing going on there? Was everything like political?
No, we didn't.
Not at all.
We didn't talk politics. The one political thing that came up is in southern Austria, the wolves.
Oh,
wolves! And actually, while we were there was a brown bear spotted in the same valley that we were in. Yeah,
well,
and we found out 2 days later. But they have wolves coming in, and it's a very hot button topic. So it was interesting to have those conversations sort of in parallel with what's going on.
Was the flavor
States.
the same?
Very much so.
On the
Very
wolf,
much
on the
so.
wolf question, the
Yeah.
flavor's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, just a super.
Can't wait to see the video, man.
Yeah.
How much video minutes you gonna get? What is this? A 2-pack? Is it a 1-pack? Like what is it?
That's yet to be determined. I think it's definitely a 2-parter. Garrett this morning said maybe it's a 2-hour thing.
A film?
I don't watch that.
I don't know about that.
I'm not throwing that out there. He
carried
gave
away
a number
here.
of terabytes.
I
And
mean,
I don't know
if
what
you did it
terabytes
like-
mean, but
Well, what I would do, I would make it like a 2 or 3 parter.
yeah, that's sort of how I imagine.
But
it.
I'd give people a rest. Dude.
We also went to a gun maker in a town where they've been making guns for more than 500 years. We went to a gun maker that produces 12 rifles a year. They're all hand engraved.
Ain't giving those away.
No, but they're beautiful, like old world double rifles and drillings and fearlings, which is a 4-barreled rifle.
Yeah.
And we just got to hang out with those guys and film them as they did stock work
man.
and shit. It was
Dude, this is like a cultural immersion.
it felt very lucky to be able to do this, and our hosts just like rolled out the red carpet.
Talk about a 4-barrel rifle. Like
Yeah.
and it was like, surely he doesn't literally mean 4
Yeah,
barrels on a
a
rifle.
fearling.
Okay, but I'm seeing a 4-barrel rifle here.
Yeah, and the
That's
thing
great.
that you realize, if you talk double rifles, the big thing is regulating the barrels so they hit the same point of aim.
Mm.
And he's like, think about a fearling, because then when you have 4 barrels and you mess with this one, it messes with all the other ones.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Oh.
you'll just drive yourself insane trying to
Right.
regulate 4
Yeah,
barrels.
I was talking to a guy about that. It never occurred to me that whole process of putting that thing together and ever getting it the 2 barrels around the same program.
Yeah.
Because you got to do a lot of tweaking because the harmonics are
But
different.
then you double the number of barrels and you quadruple the number of connections between barrels. Because with 2 barrels, they're just connecting in one place.
It's a great point.
I assume 1 trigger on a 4-barrel gun.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think they're 4 triggers.
Our saying, give them both barrels.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. Give them both barrels.
How would you not have never heard that?
No.
Give them all 4. Give them all fear.
Yeah, give them all 4. Give them all 4
fear.
barrels. That don't sound
Yeah.
good. That hurt.
But yeah, it was like a full-on cultural immersion and just super lucky, super grateful to do that. And our hosts were just the best.
You didn't grow up with like old men talking about giving them both barrels?
That one that's escaped me.
I'll give them both barrels.
I like that.
You might say something like that.
You mean business if you say both barrels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like no one wants to get shot even by 1 shotgun barrel. But imagine that they give you both.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
One last thing for me.
Okay. Oh, you gonna hit the deer call?
Oh, I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that thing.
This is a
We've been
little.
toting it around. It's like who's that playwright that if you produce a gun, it better go off? Is that him? Not a play.
Check off.
Big
theater guy over here.
Yeah. That's the noise they make?
It sounds great.
That's the dough. It's like the little kids were laughing at the little kids over there. The kids of our hosts gave this to me, and one of them has a call made out of the other antler from the same deer.
And they thought you sucked at it? Or
Yeah, they thought I sucked at it.
Yeah,
And then I got some lessons and I sucked less at it. But
got it.
yeah, you
pretty
just
little
sit
call.
there and call
Just like that.
constantly.
Not loud.
Constantly?
Constantly.
That
For
can't be
you
how
might
they
be-
behave in nature.
You might pause for a minute or two here and there, but you start calling with a fawn call, which is like a squeak, 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 and then you'd hit the doe call. And it was very different from the deer hunting that I'm used to.
Okay.
One last thing.
Oh, there's a picture right there. Look at that sucker, man.
Yeah. So we watched like all that stuff down there is hand engraved and then inlaid with the gold.
We're
and
looking
silver.
at one of these guns, and I didn't realize this. He's got like a shotgun,
20
gauge shotgun. It's like the breech is open. On the bottom at the 6 o'clock position sits a 20 gauge shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
At 3 and 9, you've got some kind of center fire rifle, like a larger caliber.
It's like an 8x57.
It's
Wow.
2 8x57s, a 20 gauge, and 1 22 Hornet.
And so then at the 12 o'clock position sits the 22. Dude, you're ready for action.
That's pretty
man.
sweet. Yeah.
It's like, he's like, I don't give a shit what comes out of them
Yeah.
bushes.
Yeah, and this is so typically when you have two rifle barrels in a shotgun barrel, like I've always known that as a drilling.
Yeah.
And it's a term you've heard. And I didn't realize this because then he says so a 4 barrel is a fearling. And I realized a drilling is a dryling. because dry is 3,
Okay.
and we just bastardize it to drilling.
Hmm.
But that's where that term comes from. I never understood what drilling was.
That's
but
good.
Yeah, so anyway.
You know, you got like Franca files, and
Mhm.
what's the guy way into Austria?
I don't know. It might be a Germanophile.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Saturday, October
Oh,
20th.
did you drink all kind of beer? Where are you at on beer drinking right now?
What do you mean, where am I at?
Are you, because everybody I know is always quitting this and quitting that. Are you like a beer drinker right now?
Big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you drinking all kind of beer
Yeah,
over
and
there?
the problem was, the real problem was you go to Germany and Austria and you can drink all this beer because it's 4 or 5%. It's all very light lagers. And then you go to Sydney, and I went to Belgium for a couple days, and you go up there and it's all 9%.
Oh, they
Got
trick
it.
you.
And so like
You get
have
thinking
to
you're a 5-beer man.
You have to
Yeah.
re-regulate, pull all the levers and re-regulate your intake. You have to turn on the choke.
Okay.
But anyway, that was great. Yeah, a lot of beers, a lot of sausages, a lot of schnitzels.
I'll take them schnitzels, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, on to the punt gun.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, one more thing.
Well, you keep saying that.
Tailgate tour.
Oh, that's totally different.
It's totally different, but it also falls into this. So tailgate tour, we're kicking that off again. We've got 4 stops coming up in the next month. This Saturday, August 29th in Missoula, Montana. I will be there. Clay Newcomb will be there for the Grizz taking on the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. So kickoff is at 7 p.m. this Saturday, August 29th. We will be out there from 5 to 7 in the fan zone, which is one of the official tailgating areas near the stadium. Come say hi. We've got games. We've got free stuff. And Clay Newcomb will listen to every single one of your hunting stories told in its fullest detail.
Here's the problem.
He even
though.
wants to see the pictures.
He'll want to look at all the pictures, even the ones that are just slightly different angles.
Randall, the problem here is that you guys are only there for 2 hours.
Yes.
The next weekend, I'm going to be at the tailgate tour at North Dakota State.
Yeah.
And we are doing that from 9 to 2:30 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
So way more stories and a lot more beer drinking. I'm
Well,
guessing.
so this is the official tailgating hours because we're part of the university tailgating area. It's open from 5 to 7. So we have that bookend built in. But
Got it. That's great. That'll be great. Everybody can come find those guys at Washington Grizzly Stadium. The Grizz Thunderbird game coming August 29th, this Saturday.
Mm-hmm. On the punt gun.
Punt gun.
You're not going to talk about the other stops?
No, I actually asked Jen. Yeah, there's more stops. You can go to the website and check them out.
TheMeatEater.com/events.
Yep.
All right, the punt gun. We bought a punt gun back in 2022. We bought this thing so long ago that the people who approved the budget for me to spend $20,000, they just don't work here anymore.
They died of old age.
Yeah. The punt gun, not saying it killed them.
Or they were fired for reckless spending.
Maybe. Yeah. The punt gun may have played a role in this at some point. We don't know.
Yeah, I know. Like, even internally, I got to go, do you remember that punt gun? And people are like, no.
No. Yeah. That's how long ago.
When they call me out for spending all the money on the vending machine meats, that's exactly what I'm going to say. Remember the punt gun? This could pay off someday.
2022, we bought that. We shot the punt gun. We made a video in 2026. You can watch the video. It's called Firing a 140-Year-Old Punt Gun. It's on our YouTube channel. We then decided to turn around and sell it through the same folks that we bought it from, which is Rock Island Auction. They're the world's biggest dealer of fine and collectible and historic firearms. That auction happened this last weekend. Their estimate publicly on their website was $20,000 to $30,000, which we paid $20,000 for it. Privately, quietly, they were like, maybe $40,000 if the right bidder gets in there. The bidding started. It shot past 50,000 very fast. There were a lot of bidders involved up to that point. Beyond 50,000, it dropped down to just 2 people. It got up to 100,000. I was told that in the room, the folks were giddy. There was some laughter involved, which is a good thing at a gun auction. They told me if people are laughing, that's
because it's kind of like a laugh. Like, you got to be kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Now the people bidding, this is they're bidding. This is an online auction.
It is happening in person in Bedford, Texas, but you can participate online. You can participate on the phone. When I bought it originally, I was just bidding from my house in Bozeman, and I was on the phone with somebody who was there in person at the auction that is, on your behalf, raising their hand and then placing the bid. Gets up to 100,000. Bidding ends at 117,500. Yes. So almost 100,000 more than what we paid for it. All of that money is going to the Land Access Initiative. Rock Island is waiving our fees to make sure that
That's
even more
generous of
money
them.
goes to conservation. It's
Yeah.
great.
That's huge.
I also I've heard from the person who won the punt gun. Rock Island is waiving their shipping fees involved,
Really?
which is a tremendous thing to ship across the country.
Yeah, because it weighs 40 pounds.
Weighs a lot. It goes on
No, it weighs a
multiple
lot more than 40
pallets.
pounds.
Yeah,
What did we weigh it at?
I never got to
Gosh,
point
I
it
don't
around.
remember.
75
I think it was
pounds.
70 or 80.
Yeah.
It goes on multiple pallets. It gets like, special shipping involved. Rock Island is waiving the buyer's fees because they were so thrilled about the price. The buyer is Brandon from North Carolina. He did reach out. He said he came into the day with his top dollar at 50,000. He wasn't going to go
Got
beyond
carried
that.
away, man.
He got carried away.
yeah.
He said he
Couple
really
beers,
doesn't like.
Dude, he was drinking them German beers or something.
Yeah.
They had a
Belgian,
good
more likely.
auctioneer.
Brandon told me he really doesn't like to lose. So it got up to 50 and then he just keep going. And the auction just unraveled and,
That's
and he
awesome.
won it. At
Brandon sounds
But it
like
was
a
the first
fun
time
guy.
that they've ever sold a punt gun. This is an important detail.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't account for the price, but this is the first time they were ever able to sell a punt gun where they could say this is a functioning, usable
Yes.
punt gun.
Confirmed that it works. We
Yeah.
had a shell for them that the buyer could then make their own shells. They've seen it work on a YouTube video. Brandon didn't say this is why he spent the money, but Rock Island also, they do a tremendous job of making every auction feel like a really big deal. And if you watch sports, this is something that sports fans will criticize or compliment networks on. They're like, ESPN does a really great job of making this Sunday night football game or Saturday night
Big deal.
football game feel like the biggest deal in the world. Rock Island does it every time. They really hype it up. They do a great job. And I could see how someone like Brandon comes in, be like, 50,000. They end up spending 117,500.
You know what we're working on for the show?
What?
We're bringing in for the interview show.
Mhm.
We're bringing in an auctioneer.
Oh, okay. Who auctions off what?
We're bringing in a livestock guy.
Mm.
Oh, fun.
But my main it'll be a short interview.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be like, why do you guys talk like that?
Yeah,
That's the main thing I'm gonna.
I look
ask.
forward to that explanation. I hope he explains it.
Nate
in
already
that
knows the
cadence.
truth. Nate already knows from the pre-interviews.
Mm.
It's gonna be
Okay.
great because then we're gonna learn how to auction.
Yes.
We're gonna do it in here, and everybody can come, and we're gonna learn how to do that whole little deal.
Yeah, if you want to learn to auction, I think you go to like a 1-week seminar and you leave there knowing.
Well, we're
how-
bringing
I'll
in
tell
world,
you,
we're bringing in world champions.
You go to
Okay.
auctioneer school.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no, we're not bringing in school kids.
Mhm.
We're bringing in world champions.
Potentially
Wow.
the triple
Professor.
crown
Triple crown.
auctioneer.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're courting
That's
the
special.
triple crown world champion.
If that
This
dude's
is not
involved,
some school kid.
you know it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Now here's like the coolest thing. You don't know this yet, Steve. Our punt gun sale is a new world record. This is now
Wow.
the most money anyone has ever paid for a punt gun, making it the most valuable punt gun on earth at this
Really?
point. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's like Rembrandt or something.
Nobody
man. I
has
don't know.
ever bought or sold a punt gun for more than $117,500.
you're telling me we sold the most
The
valuable
most
punt gun?
valuable-
It's
Yeah.
not our punt gun anymore, Spencer.
No.
Dude, I wish people kept up on Wikipedia pages like they used to, because that'd be the best
Yeah.
thing in a Wikipedia page.
And Brandon, the buyer, he's not aware of this yet either. So like he now owns the world record, the most expensive punt gun in the world. Which with collectibles, something is only worth what someone's willing to pay.
Yeah.
And so he set the price, and now he owns the world's most valuable punt gun.
Hot damn.
Rock Island, they set some other world records during this. It was the first sale ever that had 2 guns fetch over $1 million. One of them was the Bonnie and Clyde shotgun that sold for $1 million. It's now the
Wow.
most expensive shotgun ever.
Wow.
They also sold a
Are
German
you
military tank. Yeah, the Bonnie and Clyde thing was like the biggest deal. That was the crown jewel of this auction. They also sold a German military tank for $1 million. Again, the first time at a firearms auction that 2 items went for over $1 million. And Bonnie's shotgun is now the most expensive shotgun in the world
Wow.
as well. So the most expensive shotgun and the most expensive punt gun.
You know what I'd pay a lot for?
What?
I'd pay a lot for the shotgun that was used to kill the man that killed that killed Robert Ford.
Mm,
The gun
Okay.
that killed Robert Ford, who killed Jesse James.
you want that one?
I want that shotgun.
Ask Rock Island. They might track it down. My
Witnesses
understanding.
say it nearly cut Bob Ford in half.
Wow.
Other witnesses say it cut his head in half.
Okay.
He was a slight man.
The Bonnie and Clyde shotgun, it's the one that she's holding in a photo where she's got the barrel shoved into, I think, Clyde's guts. They're just like posing for a photo, but that is the shotgun.
Wow.
My understanding is they didn't know that it existed until like a year ago. It kind of just showed up and they're like, oh my gosh, this is actually.
And they were
a thing.
satisfied with the provenance.
I guess they tracked down that like this is official. It's actually Bonnie and Clyde's gun. Now the most expensive shotgun in the world. Again, thanks to Brandon for setting that world record. Rock Island for helping us create more money for conservation, and MeatEater for funding this big dumb idea of having a punt gun.
Love it.
What a happy ending.
That's the end, man. No one's ever gonna bring that up again on this show. I can tell you that much.
Now, whenever I buy a new gun, or like Sydney, you got to think, this could be worth $120,000 someday.
No. That's if I was her, I would say that. Okay.
AMA solicitations. In September, we're doing an Ask Me Anything episode with Steve.
Which will be the news show.
Which will be the news show.
For that week.
For obvious reasons, everyone is gone in September. And so this is what we're going to do. It's going to be great.
It's going to be the best episode we've done. I'm excited to hear Steve.
Steve,
just answer.
Here's the deal. You need to send in good questions that are brief. I will not read long questions.
Okay.
Send them to the MeatEater podcast at themeateater.com.
If you put them in the YouTube comments, I'm probably not going to see them. And so email me. The window closes September 3rd. And we'll see if they make the cut.
Great.
Good plug.
On to corrections. We have a nitpicky correction, a clarification, and a helpful critique of trail cam usage. The winner gets a Moultrie Edge cell cam with, and this is the important part, a 1-year subscription. You get a camera and a subscription. One is from the great writer, tennis writer, outdoor writer, hunting writer, Peter Bodo. New York Times contributor. Are we using the interest-o-meters or not?
We're not using it for this one.
Okay.
I'll talk to the guys who sent it in.
I'm interested now.
We're going to pick the favorite, though. Well, you're interested already.
Yeah, I'm in.
I didn't heard damn correction.
Peter Bodo, Austrian born.
Yeah, I saw that. Not American. I just read it as not American, but yeah, Austrian born. Hey, fellas, I don't want to be mean-spirited, but as a raggedy-ass old journalist, I have a few grammatical quibbles to share. They are not super current, but they recur across different episodes. His first, morality. In a recent news show, episode 866, Boundary Waters Tragedy, the gang discussed the morality of the old coot trying to prevent others from accessing public hunting land for turkey hunting. You debated the morality of this, but you should have been debating the ethics of it. As per the Oxford Dictionary, morals are your own internal rules about right and wrong. Ethics are the shared rules of a group, job, or society. So clearly the gent's behavior was an ethical rather than a moral issue. If it helps, this is a very common error made by all kinds of folks. A bank robber is not immoral. He is unethical. Learning curve. Spencer on the trivia show has talked about the learning curve, making a common mistake. Something that is easy to learn has a steep learning curve. You get from point A to point Z very quickly. Something difficult to learn, expert marksmanship, spay casting, has a flat learning curve. I can't point to specific episodes as it would take too much research, but it always struck me. The reality is something easy has a steep learning curve. I didn't know that.
I don't think anybody knows that.
Yeah, that's good.
Finally. And lastly, especially on the trivia show, many contestants consistently confuse less and fewer. Dude, I didn't know this either.
This is amazing.
Less is for things you cannot count. Well, I'm going to put it right back in his face on this one because he says the well has less water. You damn sure count the water in a well.
But only if you're referring,
foot acres.
If you're referring to the units of water. If you just say water is like a general concept, it has less water. If you said it has fewer like cubic feet of water.
Fewer is for things you can. Giannis has only 6 TSS shotgun shells left. The first two I like.
Yep.
That third one I got real questions.
Before we move on,
Correction 2. Oh,
if I may.
Yep.
I just got to throw a plug out for Pete's book, Whitetail Nation.
mm-hmm.
It is an under-the-radar whitetail gem.
I think I blurbed that
Nobody
book.
talks about this. Yeah, it's worth blurbing. Very fun read. It talks about his kind of journey as a deer hunter from New York and kind of wants to explore this wild deer hunting culture across the rest of the country. And so he goes on this kind of year-long pursuit of traveling to different states, diving into Texas, Montana, the Midwest, and does it in a very interesting, unique way, given his perspective, his writing pedigree. Very well done and a fun read for really any deer hunter.
Great. Thank you.
Sounds like a mildly steep learning curve.
Mildly.
He didn't get into mildly, Steve.
Yeah.
No, it's a new one.
Number 2, recent Alpha Gal podcast, they had a brief tangent about chiggers. Well, hey, friends, he says, it's about chiggers. He says, just an FYI, chiggers live and lay eggs in the soil. They latch onto you and secrete digestive enzymes into your skin. Then they use sort of a fancy mouth straw to suck up your broken down proteins. None of this is new. The part that itches are those digestive enzymes. The spots are just an inflammatory response to the tissue breakdown. None of this is new.
It's just clarification.
There are no chiggers under the skin or anything like that. Okay, not new. Best way to treat the bites, this is new, is just with a topical anti-inflammatory or anti-itch cream of some sort. Same sort of thing you'd use to get your dog to stop scratching a sore spot. This is not going to be the winner. Love him to death. Love him to death. Sure, he loves his family. I'm sure he's a great American. Not the winner.
No, but it says he designs anti-inflammatory and anti-itch products.
The reason he wrote in is
He's
because
got a horse in the race, too.
Okay.
in your
Bad.
conversation, you talked about various remedies like rubbing oil.
No. We talked about various myths.
Right. But then you never said what
What to
actually
actually
worked.
do.
And he was just saying
Okay.
this is actually works. But he's also, he's in the pocket of big anti-itch.
I love the guy. I think we should send him a care package regardless. Because I like him so much. But that's just not... Okay. Episode 915, Dan Moultrie lost camera story. I was explaining that I have lost a camera. It cranks out great photos every day. We cannot find it.
Oh, interesting.
Well, not so much interesting anymore.
Okay.
Because the lat lawn is in the camera.
Mm.
Hey, Steve, listening to the podcast this week and your question about how to find the trail cam of Dan Moultrie. Just a little more background on this. We were putting a trail cam where we knew there had been a lot of ocelot. From an ocelot collaring project, we knew there was a lot of ocelot pings in the area.
Mm.
And so we're like, let's go put our own camera there and try to make a sweet ocelot video.
In what state?
Texas.
Okay.
So we make a pin and we get there and we make a pin on a map, but we get there and we don't like the area.
Mm.
Like it doesn't live up to its promise. The e-scouting didn't ground check. So then we wander off into the bush and then we find like the queen mother of all trail cam setups. No one ever thinks to repin the actual place. I send Yanni's down there. I say, hey, go find our camera. Yanni wanders all over hell, and I never even get a picture of him looking for it.
Mm.
I was like, it's by a bush.
What do you get on this trail camera?
Yeah, did you get the ocelot?
Everything but what I'm trying to get.
Okay.
Hogs, javelinas, nilgai, water buck, big bucks, regular bucks, you name it. Coyotes,
And those
out the
Gemsbach?
wazoo, oryx. So isn't that a Gemsbach?
Mhm.
Oryx. But we can't find it.
Okay. Literally everything.
And the corrector says, I was a little surprised that neither of you thought about the camera's GPS location. My Moultrie Edge 2 Pro has GPS data under device info.
The gal. Steph.
Steph Maddle.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a guy.
That's fair.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
And the guy
As
that
opposed to
just
Tim
died
Curry.
today. Oh, Tim Curry. Oh, Tim. So, yes, the minute we
Mocha.
talked about this, it became we someone else in the room pointed out you could just go in there and into your app and find your lat lawn. So the camera is now no longer lost.
Okay.
I got pictures this morning. Great
Good.
photos. Yep. I'm going with the camera.
Same.
Are we gonna vote?
That's my vote.
Oh.
Okay. Let's back up. Nitpicky grammatical stuff, great.
Vote
Nate
for it.
likes it.
I'm
gonna
going
vote for
nitpicky.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
disagree.
I feel like I learned something.
Yep.
He put a
Okay.
lot. He put a lot of thought into
The
that.
learning curve thing,
Yep.
I realized I've been doing that
That's
wrong
a
my
4
whole
vote.
life.
Mhm.
But that just makes me not want to say learning curve ever again. Because
Because you're
it's
just going to mix it up.
well, if you don't mix it up though, then you're
I
like
think you're confusing people.
correcting
Yeah.
somebody, and
Well,
that's
that just
kind of
won.
weird.
That just won. Can I see a show of hands again?
No, I'm gonna change my vote.
Oh, you can't do that.
Coward.
Jeez.
No, because now I can't say learning curve.
Male
Yeah, you
no.
can.
No, just say it right.
You can. You just have to correct when
you
people
honestly
correct you, you have
changing
to
your
correct
vote?
I'm
them.
changing my vote. Only because
Get
you
outta here.
Flip flopper.
Yep, I'm flip flopping.
Okay, so 3.
Okay.
There's a potential. There's 7 votes
Hanging
in the room.
Chad over here.
Anyone on using anti-whatevers when you get a chigger bite? Using this guy's personal products. No one.
The one Steve declared not to
Okay.
be a winner.
That your camera is not in fact lost.
I'm going with that one.
Wow, 4.
Okay. Wow.
Sorry, Bodo. Peter Bodo. Love you to death. Love you to death. You just had tough competition.
Yeah, you just got fewer votes than the other one.
Yeah. That's all that happened.
Yeah, it's Nate's fault.
Yep. Sorry, Pete.
Still a good book.
All right, this takes us to the first harvest success sent into the MeatEater podcast inbox from Rodney Kidd. Sends in a report, 3 squirrels. He says, a little report from Indiana early squirrel season. They are not moving much. It's hot. They are speaking to each other in soft tones. You must really listen for them and then sneak.
And he's got a nice photo. He's got his double barrel scatter gun.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a stringer 3. Is that a brace or is it a brace 2?
I think
he's got a brace and a half. He's got a brace and a half of gray
You should know that.
squirrels hanging from a cord. He's got a backpack. He's got a Bear Grease hat in Realtree. No, in Mossy Oak.
A brace is a pair, or exactly 2.
Great. And he's got the kind of woods in Indiana. It looks like it. I just get itchy looking at that. Man.
Yeah.
That is poison ivy country. I would be washing my hands after I skin those squirrels. People don't know this. Squirrels harvest that soft fuzz off the vines and line their nests with it.
Mm.
Yeah, you can get tore up from squirrels in poison ivy country. I was sharing that in Michigan growing up, September 15th, opening day of squirrels. I could always take opening day of deer rifle off, opening day of trapping off. I could take opening day of bow off. We could kind of take like a half day off for opening day of squirrel season. But the first weekend that would happen of squirrel season, first weekend, I just loved going down into the beech woods, the beech trees, and sitting there at daylight and listening to the beech nuts raining down. And you just sneak in under where they're like hitting the forest floor, and the canopy be so thick the squirrels wouldn't even know you were down below them. Oh, such a good time. And then shooting on up in there with a shotgun. Not even totally sure what you were aiming at. At least that's how I remember it happening. You're like, I feel like that noise is coming from right thereabouts.
Then the squirrels did know you were there.
Yep, then they knew you were there. But man, that first trip, you were going to get your limit of 5, man. Such a good time. In the news. Wow, that's great. In the news. I read the news. I skim. So just to keep my head balanced in life, I read a bunch of different news sources. So when I wake up in the morning, I lay in bed. The missus will still be sleeping. And I'll go into...
TikTok.
No.
4chan.
No.
Oh.
I go into...
Reddit.
I'll peruse the Wall Street Journal.
Oh.
I'll just a headline run,
Mhm.
just to be like, what happened overnight, right? Like what else? The major things that shape global event kind of stuff. I'll skim Wall Street Journal, I'll skim the New York Times, I'll skim The Economist, I'll skim Free Press, and I might get on to some other stuff too. But that way, you're hearing it from both sides, right? Because all these places have their own biases.
Mhm.
So that way you kind of levels your head out a little bit. I love New York Times. I like this part of my peruse. But they have the wrong guy. They have the wrong guy on the wild horse beat. He's the wrong man for the job. Sure, he's a nice guy. Sure, he loves his family. Great American. Dave Phillips. I got turned off by the journalist Dave Phillips years ago when he wrote a piece. You know those pieces where it's not journalism, it's politics. Like this thing that came out the other day, this news thing, it gets picked up all over the place. And this news thing that like, hey, mountain lions reduce vehicle collisions. Because through some like cockamamie like analysis, they've determined that if you have like, it's sort of the argument is the more mountain lions we have, meaning the less mountain lions anybody shoots, the more they'll scare deer away from roads.
Yep.
And I'm like, but when you just change the headline to road hunters, like road hunters reduce deer car collisions? Because if you look at like how many deer get killed by mountain lions, that number is dwarfed by the number of deer that get killed by humans. Why wouldn't it be a big study about how humans reduce deer car collisions? But it's like, it's politics. So they knew where they wanted to land, right? They knew they wanted to land at, look at the bright side. All these people are anti-predators, but it reduces, it's hogwash.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it's politics, which is cool. It's fine. Like, that's what I traffic in. I traffic in manipulating shit to get what I want. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But at least I admit it.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't. This guy did this piece a while back where he's like, hey, good thing about mountain lions is they'll reduce the wild horse overpopulation. And you talk to anybody that has anything to do with wild horses or anyone that has anything to do with mountain lions, and they'd be like, no. Cute, but no. Anyways, they've uncovered, so the New York Times has ran this kind of investigative piece where they've uncovered that the Trump administration has found this loophole by which they are selling protected wild horses to slaughter through a loophole, meaning let me give you a little background. In the mid-70s, how long did I tell you I needed for this?
10 minutes.
Okay. In the mid-70s, this country passed a very, very bad, short-sighted piece of legislation, which was, it's known as, I can't remember the exact term, but the Wild Horse and Burro Protection Act. Terrible piece of legislation that did not contemplate the complexities of the future. At the time, there was maybe 25,000 wild horses and burros out on the landscape of the American West. It defined what a wild horse and burro was, and it protected them and really tied the hands of future managers on how to deal with a situation should it get out of control. We are now there.
It was 1971. It was called the Wild Free Roaming Horses and Burros Act.
Okay. Short-sighted, it happens. Like, it happens. You make short-sighted things because you can't contemplate the future. People always point this up with the Constitution. Like, critics of the American Constitution will say they never contemplated crypto. They never contemplated whatever. You know what I mean? They wrote the document not contemplating things. And so now sometimes we're in this spot where we're trying to figure out what people meant. This did not contemplate the present. We now have 3 times as many wild horses and burros out in the landscape. We have more wild horses and burros sitting in holding facilities than there were at the time they passed this legislation. We got 73,000 wild horses and burros out in the landscape, which is a drier landscape now than it was then. We have 60,000 of these things in storage where we're paying money to store them because the act that was meant to protect them made it that you couldn't send them to slaughter. It made there's virtually no outlet for these animals. They have a budget they have a budget to manage wild horses. The whole budget gets burned up paying farmers and ranchers in Kansas and Oklahoma $1,000 a year apiece to hold these wild horses in perpetuity. The government spends $3,000, up to $3,000 to catch a wild horse where they're overpopulated. They then sell them for about $25. And they have all this convoluted crap where, like, first you have to offer it for adoption and no one comes and gets them, or 3 people come and adopt them. I'm being ridiculous with my numbers, but it's like not nearly enough people come forth to adopt them. Then the next step, there's like this sales process, and you have to do that. And then if you try that and try this and try that and try this, you can then sell it under a certain caveat. And then the person that buys it is sort of less beholden to the law, and they can then move it to another person, and then that person can send it up for slaughter. So there's this big cry fest in the New York Times about the fact that some of these wild horses are getting sent to slaughter, which, and if it's illegal, it's illegal. They shouldn't be doing illegal stuff. But this is a problem that is not going away, and it has hit maximum absurdity. The only solution here is to not restrict but lubricate the path to slaughter, because this is not American wildlife. This is a non-native domestic animal. People that cry about ranchers having grazing rights out on public land, like, this is grazing rights for livestock where it costs the government tens of millions of dollars. These are not wild animals. They're out competing deer. They're out competing bighorn sheep. All the mountain lions, like, if they all switch their diet to horses, which they don't want, they don't like horses. It's not their preferred thing. They like deer. They like bighorns. They don't want horses. They don't overlap with horses in the proper way. It's like nothing's going to take care of this problem. Nothing will take care of the problem. You go back to 2013, the National Academy of Science reports. Here's a quote from the National Academy of Science report from 2013. Continuation of business as usual practices will be expensive and unproductive for BLM because compelling evidence exists that there are more horses on public rangelands than reported at the national level, and that horse population growth rates are high. Unmanaged populations would probably double in about 4 years. That has happened. If populations were not actively managed for even a short time, the abundance of horses on public rangelands would increase until animals became food limited. Food limited horse populations would affect forage and water resources for all other animals on shared rangeland and potentially conflict with the multiple use policy of public rangelands and the legislative mandate to maintain a thriving natural ecological balance. 2019, the BLM estimated that there are 88,090 wild horses and burros on rangelands. That is not counting these 47,000 that we're paying $1,000 a piece to put on otherwise productive farm and ranch land. Because we've tied our hands with ridiculous legislation. It's like they got the wrong guy on the job. This guy is talking about this old dumb thing where people are supposed to go out and like shoot him with contraceptives. He's still on that. They were going to pay all these guys to go out and shoot contraceptives into 80. Well, let's say half of these are females. I don't know what the ratios are. Let's say half of these are females. That you're going to hire guys to go out and shoot contraceptives into 44,000 wild horses. It's like wrong man on the job. If the Trump administration is in fact like doing a thing that's naughty, you know, I'm a law and order guy, but the sentiment of that something that they have created an unlivable situation. And I would expect at this point that as Americans get a more sophisticated understanding of ecology, that we would be putting true native North American wildlife way ahead in priority of livestock. And these things are livestock.
I have heard, right, there's all sorts of different levels of animal rights or animal lovers who go really hard on their species of choice. I've heard that the horse lovers are a whole nother level.
Dude, they're the Gestapo of animal rights people.
It feels like a group that probably has money, too.
What's that Iranian group? Soleimani ran it. They're the Cuds.
The
They're the
IRGC.
Cuds.
Oh.
The Cuds force.
Dude, they are the Cuds force of the animal rights movement.
Anybody see that film Unbranded?
Sure.
That was like
I
my
know
one
about
little
it.
introduction to this whole thing. They go and they adopt a couple of these Broncos and kind of explore it. It was interesting.
But here's the thing. Go read the piece yourself. It's called, where is it? It's called
Under Trump, protected wild horses are going to slaughter.
Dave Phillips. I usually have great luck with guys named Dave. We should maybe just have this guy on the show. Just be like, dude, come on. He reports on military affairs, which I respect. He's the wrong man for the job on wild horses.
You should start an interview show where you can talk to people like this that you're interested in.
We should have
Just the regular. We already have an interview show. I'm not going to make a whole new one.
I know, man. It's a joke.
But you should have him talk to Arthur Lawson at the Wind River Fish and Game.
Yeah,
I remember. I mean that was a great conversation for wrapping your head around the impact that they have.
I have better luck with Dave's than any other name.
Really?
Absolutely.
Is the sample size on Randall just too small?
I don't have bad luck on Randall. I don't want to tell you the names I got bad luck on because it make people feel bad with those names.
People in this room?
Anybody in this room?
Well, much as I love you, Nate, Nate was a problem for me.
Yeah, that was one of the first things you said to me.
But dude, Dave's, me and Dave's do great together. Then you got the tagline or whatever they call it. I forgot. I've been out of it's been a long time since I took journalism 101. There's a word for this. It's like the sort of other title. A legal loophole. Yeah, you can tell where this is headed. A legal loophole allows the government to sell Mustangs on the cheap, stripping them of protections and clearing their path to destruction. You know what would really get this guy worked up? If he somehow found out that they're killing all these cattle from steaks and burgers.
Yeah.
He'd be like, they're what?
Yeah. Randall could sway
He must
some
not know this. He must not know that this is happening, that people are eating chickens and cattle and stuff.
people like Randall are eating horses.
Yeah, I'm a horse steak guy now.
Oh yeah, in New York, in Italy, you can get horse sandos.
Yeah, I got a horse steak in Belgium.
How was that?
It's delicious.
Yeah. Dave would be like, if I was like, Dave, dude, I gotta tell you, man, they're killing all kinds of cattle. Eating them. Selling them.
It also sounds, when you
Pigs.
say a legal loophole allows them to do this, it sounds like illegal. It sounds like it's legal.
They got the wrong. I'm sure. I know I'm sure he's a great guy. They got the wrong. They need to hand the wild horse beat over. I'll tell you who to hand it to. Jim Roberts. Is that his name, Jim Roberts?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
that's
he's the guy you like. Yeah.
Does pieces for the New York Times. He's from Montana. You need to give Dave more stuff on veterans, fire him off the wild horse beat, bring Jim Robbins in to rewrite all that stuff. Here's a great one that Randall found. This one tickles the hell out of me. This is an old news story. Listen to this. You want to talk about a headline? Forest fire explodes gun of trapper. Skeleton is found. Lewis and Clark Forest. That's when they knew how to write a headline. Forest fire explodes gun of trapper. Skeleton is found. Lewis Clark Forest. We're going to start a segment called Old Ass News. Here's the piece. Great Falls, Montana, August 29. What year was it, though?
I think this is 1928.
That's right, 1928. The skeleton of a trapper, which has lain undisturbed for years, perhaps half a century, has been uncovered by a forest fire in the Lewis Clark Forest. The skeleton was found when bullets from the trapper's old gun exploded from the heat of the flames. The firefighting crews heard the explosion and then found the skeleton. The man had apparently been killed by an animal on the spot where he had made his camp. The rifle was beside the skeleton with a date of 1873 upon it. There was an old iron skillet of the type long off the market.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I'm just going to back because I want people to really savor the true journalism here.
My favorite part.
There was an old iron skillet of the type long off the market, a salt shaker, and 2 bottles of Trapper's poison. And then he wraps it up. You need to find this guy,
Just the facts, ma'am.
drag him out of the dead, and have him take up the wild horse beat for the New York Times. This guy'd give it to you straight. That's journalism.
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
That's
good.
journalism.
God, there's got to be a few more of those laying out there.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I never considered that a forest fire would send unsent bullets off into the atmosphere.
And that they'd be laying by an old trapper with
Yeah.
an iron skillet of the
Mhm.
type not currently for sale. Okay. Marcus?
Roadless rule. All right, I'll keep it kind of short since this has been something I know you guys have talked about over the months in the last year or so, but we can dive as far as you want into this. The news came out last week that the USDA has officially proposed their ruling on the roadless rule. So last summer, a lot of people started talking about this because the administration kind of released their floating of this idea of rolling back the roadless rule. They started a comment period. 100,000 or so comments were put into the federal record. Many folks spoke out in defense of this ruling. Fast forward now, back in August 20th, I guess it was, the federal government showcased the fact that they want to officially rescind the roadless rule in its entirety. Soon after that, they released the mandated draft environmental impact statement, and then a 30-day public comment period was opened after that.
Can I back you up to one thing?
Yeah.
The comment period is a thing they have to do. No one pays attention to that, sadly. I'm curious, how many comments were there in favor of revoking the roadless of opening all this up? Did you see was the split? What was the split?
About 99% were in favor of keeping it.
Yeah.
And that was more than 600,000 comments applied. Back when the roadless rule was created, back in 2001, they went through like a 1.5-year process, and there was 1.6 million comments submitted, and more than 90% of those were in support of the roadless rule.
Yeah.
So the public comment period, some people will say doesn't really matter, but it does a couple things. Number one, it does establish a record of the public's perspective.
Sure.
That ostensibly the government should be looking at and considering when making their decision. But also down the line when it comes to litigation, when it comes to how this might play out for the next administration too, all of that will be reviewed and looked at.
Got it.
So
to say like this is an overwhelmingly unpopular move with the American public.
Yes. And I kind of was messing up my words there earlier, but about 44 million acres of public land fall underneath this ruling. There are also separate roadless rules for Idaho and Colorado. So this would not impact those two states.
Okay.
But the high level thing here is that the roadless rule keeps these forest lands from having most new roads and most forms of industrial scale logging. So the idea that the administration, that the USDA has placed around their preferred alternative, which would be to roll it back in its entirety, is that this should help with wildfire mitigation, this should help with active management.
It's a lie.
It's a red herring.
Yes, that's true a teeny bit, but that is not where this is coming from.
Yes.
They use that. They like way overemphasize how much they care about that.
True. But it sounds really good.
Yeah.
And if you look
at what, you want everybody's house to burn down? Well, gosh, I don't want that.
If you look
then let us log the shit out of everything that's unlogged,
There's 193 million acres or so of national forest lands, right? Almost 100 million acres of those are wide open to whatever kind of active management a forest would like, whatever kind of wildfire prescriptions. Then you have the 44 million. It's 58 million if you include Colorado and Idaho. 58 million acres of national forest lands which do fall underneath some kind of roadless rule protection. But they did include exceptions for wildfire treatment. You can build new roads to battle a wildfire if exceptions are needed. There are exceptions for wildlife habitat treatments to make sure to account for some form of active management needed. So there's ways around this. There's flexibility built into the roadless rule to account for these different things. And then there's 37 million or so that are protected by the Wilderness Act, which truly are off limits to those things. So the point being is that there is a lot of room for management of our forests. There's other challenges to getting that management, right? There's litigation, there's forest planning processes. But the roadless rule is not some kind of de facto wilderness that is keeping people out of these places. It is not keeping, actually it's not even keeping mining or development of that kind out. It is not keeping grazing off of these landscapes. There are even off-road vehicle use. Off-road vehicles are allowed in these places. Existing roads can exist in these places. So it's kind of a nice middle ground public land designation that for 25 years has kept these roadless cores intact. And I think a lot of people now really appreciate that. And that's why there's, so many hundreds of thousands of people that have spoken out about it. And I expect now that, the official ruling is out there, the draft environmental impact statement is out there, the public comment period is now officially open, that we're going to see something similar again this time around. What that means then for the actual, changes on the ground is that the Forest Service will have to review all the comments that come in over this 30-day period. They will have to assess the sentiment. They'll go through all these different things. And then some number of months down the road, they will release the final environmental impact statement and decision. Like I mentioned, they've said they fully intend to roll it back in its entirety. And then what happens after that will be, up to the next administration or whoever's appointing the forest director in the future.
Besides all the stuff that they say they want, that they maybe want a teeny bit, what in your mind is the main thing they want? This is coming from someone.
Yeah.
This is coming from some group. I know that the appetite to do rare earth and old growth in Tongass National Forest, our biggest national forest, is enormous. Right? There's an enormous appetite for those things, and those things are held back by the roadless rule. Like, what other things do you feel are the ones that the people that are spending money on this and that are pushing this and that are coming up with these little fire mitigation schemes? What do they want?
So the funny thing is that when you look at the timber value and the resource value in many of these places, it is actually not, economically feasible to make a profit from going in there and extracting timber from a lot of these locations. They're high elevation. They're hard to get to.
Okay.
Just building the roads in many cases and maintaining them would cost more than any kind of profit from the timber. So it's not really that. I just spoke with someone today.
Like, what is it?
The people I've spoken to really think it comes down to more of almost, I've heard it referred to as like a religious thing, like ideological.
Yeah.
Ideologically opposed to this kind of regulation. They want to come in and move things back to state level, remove roadblocks to any kind of potential development or resource extraction opportunities. So that's what it comes down to. I've heard like the timber industry, supposedly, from what I've heard, the timber industry isn't asking for this.
Got it.
This is something that is coming top down
It's
from
philosophical.
think tanks.
It's like ideological.
Yes.
How would a country, why would a country tie its hands behind its back when it comes to industrial might?
Yep.
We might all be dead tomorrow.
Yep.
Might as well use everything up now.
I think the roadless rule is one of those sweet spots where they took into account the fact that you need to have flexibility. And maybe, in all honesty, there likely are ways this rule could be improved still, right? Things are different now than they were 25 years ago when this was written. But this full-scale rollback seems like a short-sighted way of doing it.
Yeah. It does. Yeah. When I sit and ask myself, if I was like, what do you fear most? Running out of roads or running out of places with no roads?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I thought it through long and hard. I just don't think we're going to run out of roads.
370,000
I don't think sometime
miles
down the road I'm going to be like, man, whatever happened to all them roads? There's nowhere to drive. It's just, I don't foresee this issue.
Yeah. Our unfragmented, wild cores are just becoming increasingly more rare. and this is the kind of thing that they're not making any more of. So there's some value to keeping it around.
You know, you talk about like when TR was doing all his stuff.
Mhm.
At the time, it was very radical, and
Yeah.
now we look back and it's great.
Yeah.
I looked back at the public comment when Clinton enacted this, and they loved it. At the time, it broke records for public comment, like 1.5 million comments, and 95% of those were positive. It's just like the through line is this is great. Since
Yeah.
we started it,
Oh yeah. I mention the TR thing all the time. He was controversial at the time. He'd be regarded as a tree hugging lunatic now, and now everybody's like TR, I'm going to the library, while simultaneously trying to dismantle his legacy.
So yeah, if you have interest in sharing your perspective on this, the comment period is open until September 21st around midnight. So going over to the Federal Register, that's where you can leave your comment. Backcountry hunters and anglers and other organizations have like an easy action, right? You can go to their Take Action Center. You can sign on to the form letter. But truly, if you want your voice to be heard, sharing an actually unique comment is going to get you the most traction. And not just, doing the action email that sends to your elected officials, but actually going to the Federal Register where the Forest Service is mandated to review every unique comment.
Yeah.
So if you go and actually share a unique comment that shows, not only that you understand the issue, but that you have a personal experience or connection or perspective on it, that's going to, get a little bit more credence with those folks too. And again, maybe this administration is going to do what they want to do from the get-go, and it doesn't matter what you say. Yeah. But down the line, this stuff will be useful for whatever's next.
No, I'll go down there.
So,
All right, hit me with the Tim Walz thing, 'cause this is puzzling to me.
yeah, so you guys are all familiar with the Boundary Waters fiasco this spring. They used the Congressional Review Act to roll back that mineral withdrawal. Now, just recently, the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, signed this executive order.
Can you put that in like idiot terms, please?
Yeah. So there was a set of protections placed around the watershed around the Boundary Waters a few years ago that would keep certain types of mining from happening right around this incredibly popular, important wilderness area in Minnesota.
On the headwaters of the rivers that create
Correct.
the Boundary Waters area.
And it all came from this mine that's been proposed right on the upstream border of the Boundary Waters. The Twin Metals mine, like you said, just upstream of this watershed that flow through the Boundary Waters. So that's kind of what led to everything, and it's been years and years and years of back and forth on this thing. So in 2023, I think it is, the Biden administration put this mineral withdrawal in place, which basically said you can't do this kind of mining in this place. And then this spring, there was this whole legislative battle that we're all familiar with that effectively removed that, opening the potential road for these types of mines to happen there again. So that's what led us to last week when the governor of Minnesota said, not so fast. He signed this executive order that essentially put substantial roadblocks in the way for a mine. So it's not necessarily 100% no, it can't happen, but there's a certain amount of like state and federal cooperation that typically has to occur for a mining project or any kind of.
It would
resource
require a lot of
extraction.
state land permits too.
Yeah. So this EO that Walz signs, it requires the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources to not undertake any kind of environmental review or permit work associated with proposals like this kind of mining until litigation is completed. There's a whole set of litigation related to this going on right now. It would direct the DNR not to participate as a cooperating agency in any federal environmental review. It would not offer any new state leases for this kind of mining. It would require the DNR not to offer any new state surface leases for this kind of mining. It would also require them to start drafting legislative language prohibiting this kind of mining in this watershed as well. So spoke to some folks on the ground there in Minnesota about this, basically asking, does this thing have legs? Will this actually stop this, or is this kind of window dressing? And the cliff notes of what he shared was that this is a roadblock. This would expire 90 days after the new governor takes office. So if a new governor comes into Minnesota here that has a different view on this, it would expire and this stuff would be gone.
Yeah, that's any executive order executive orders are generally much weaker than legislative action because
Yes.
they just get the next time a different person comes in with the same job title, they undo executive orders with other executive orders, which is how we wind up with some of these perpetual issues.
Yes.
Like these issues that never die.
I think the thinking or the hope, though, is that it's likely that the next governor there in Minnesota will be on board with this or close to it, and so this sets it up easily for whoever's next to continue this. And again, they can't stop federal leasing; they can't stop that from being from happening. But this certainly will prevent it from moving slow or quickly. This is going to be the opposite of lubricating the rails. This is going to slow down the process, and hopefully there'll be other ways and other forms of protection that can make this more permanent down the line. So it's positive news if you care about the boundary waters, but it's not a permanent fix.
Mm-hmm. This ain't going nowhere.
Not going anywhere.
We'll keep you posted, though. North Carolina.
You want to talk Amendment 84 first?
Oh, yeah, I'll do it real quick. We had a guest on some time ago, Dan Gates, came in and talked about the signature collecting phase of putting a codified right to hunt and fish vote to Coloradan voters this November. Meaning on your ballot, they're trying to collect enough signatures to put on the ballot. Boy, I'm doing a terrible job with this. There's a ballot initiative in Colorado called Amendment 84. It would codify the right to hunt and fish in Colorado. In order to get it on the ballot, they needed a bunch of signatures. Dan Gates came up from Colorado and did the news show and talked about the signature gathering process. And we alerted Colorado voters where to go to sign to get it on the ballot. Gates has updated me that they're looking good. They're sitting pretty on signatures. This thing is headed to the ballot. We will remind you before. But when you go down to vote, if you're in Colorado and you go down to vote this November, skip all the stuff. I don't care. Skip all the other stuff, like president, whatever. That won't be on there, but skip all the other stuff. Find Amendment 84 and vote in favor of Amendment 84's passage. This will be helpful to you. Like these are widespread. I can't remember how many states now, 30 states, 20 some states have right to hunt and fish things. We're sitting in a state weirdly that does not. We should remedy that. But a problem I have with right to hunt to fish legislation is it's sometimes hard to see where the rubber meets the road. Meaning you have this. What are those occasions when you're able to effectively sue the government for violating one's right to hunt and fish? Right? It's like, I have yet to meet anyone that can come to me with a interesting list of ways in which the right to hunt and fish was weaponized against assaults on hunting and fishing rights. But here's an interesting one.
Enter North Carolina.
Enter North Carolina. Here's an interesting case study on where a right to hunt and fish actually proves to be useful.
This story comes to us from Mike L. of North Carolina. And what he's calling attention to is a lawsuit filed in 2020 by the CCA of North Carolina, the Coastal Conservation Association of North Carolina. And through 6 years of litigation, a whole bunch of plaintiffs, including 5 former members of North Carolina's Marine Fisheries Commission, they were able to prove that by allowing the commission, by allowing North Carolina's coastal fisheries to degrade and deteriorate, the state of North Carolina violated the legal rights of North Carolinians to fish and harvest fish in the Atlantic. These rights that they infringed on are guaranteed to them by a constitutional right to hunt and fish.
Hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife.
Exactly.
Yep. And it to be like, if you kill the wildlife off, you have taken away my right to harvest.
Yep. And so ultimately what this comes down to is this tension between sound management, the public trust of marine and estuary resources, and protecting that not only for the current but future generations as well, which is what this thing kind of stipulates. And they found at trial, including tons of expert testimony, previous, current fisheries, the commission members, as well as other states' commission members, the state had failed to meet any of the standards set by themselves The court cited undisputed evidence that none of North Carolina's 13 state-managed coastal fish stocks is currently viable. So, they're 0 for 13. And so the situation is, it's really a critique of the commission structure, not necessarily the biologists or the fishermen attempting to steward the resource. And the way this commission is structured and the results of the regulations they push down is there's this tension between commercial trawling and gill netting in the estuaries where these unhealthy fish populations typically spawn. And the 3 legal grounds that this was litigated on is public trust doctrine and 2 provisions in the North Carolina Constitution: the right to hunt and fish and the duty to conserve lands and waters. And this was the thing they pointed to pretty regularly, is that the state is violating the right and hunt to fish by removing all the fish that people that constituents could go out and pursue. There's of those 13, we won't go into every single one, but southern flounder, river herring, blue crab, spotted sea trout, red drum, hard clam. These are those 13.
And none meets the state's definition of viability.
Yes, the state's own definition of viability. And there's kind of three buckets here. There's one, red drum, that has tight commercial. They have slot limits. There's no real commercial fishing for them, and they're somewhat on the upswing. There's 4 that have no stock assessment at all. Like, they just don't. There's nothing to compare it to. We took out 1 million, whatever. But out of how many? Out of 1 million? Out of 2 million? Out of 5? And so, because there's no data, the court pointed to the fact that you're not managing the fish at all. The lack of data points to a failure on your part to manage this resource.
Sure.
And those 4 fish happen to be the preponderance of bycatch in these commercial fisheries.
Got it.
When a shrimp trawler pulls up his net, they found typically anywhere between 20 and 30% of that catch is shrimp, and the other 80 to 70% are yearling fish. That includes the sheep's head, the spotted sea trout, and river herring.
Can I tell you a metaphor?
Yeah, please.
I was in Belize one time, and I was watching these guys check fish traps. And they pull the fish trap up, and they pull out of it whatever snappers and grunts are big enough to market. And you know what they do with everything that's in that trap? They carry a weed burning torch on the boat with a propane tank. And it's a wire mesh trap. They hold that trap up and bake every fish in it with a weed burning torch because that's bait. And they throw it back overboard.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening here.
No.
But
I said,
yes.
It's a metaphor.
Agreed.
It's a metaphor. It's a bycatch metaphor.
And so there's a lot of nuance here between commercial and recreational fishing. But the crux of the issue is these commission structures. And what's interesting is in North Carolina, they have 2 commission structures. There's the WRC, Wildlife Resource Commission, that's inland game and fish. And then there's the DMF, the Division of Marine Fisheries. And basically, WRC's crushing it. Like, they're out there maintaining and stewarding the wildlife resources. They have 21 appointed members, half by the governor, half by the legislature. They don't have certain industry or requirements on who they are. They're just, by statute, they say an experienced hunter, fisherman, farmer, or biologist who shall generally be informed on wildlife conservation and restoration programs. You compare that to the Marine Fisheries Commission. Those are all governor appointed, 3-year terms, no limits, no confirmation. 2 are active or retired commercial fresh fishermen. 1's a seafood industry person. 2 are rec sport fishermen. 1's a sport fishing industry person. 1 is a fishery scientist, and 2 are general. They vote on the rules presented by the Division of Marine Fisheries, which are the biologists and whatnot. And basically, they get into blocks. They vote for whatever is good for their block. And there's no care for the resource. They just care about who's getting the fish this year. That seems to be the voting trend that this court case bore out. And so the court's recommendation are restructuring this commission, adding some sort of legislative oversight, adding a third-party commission that's independent, and streamlining the process to align incentives for those commissioners, and then allowing the DMF to do their job. When I reached out to CCA, the people who brought this, they're currently, they won, they're in the remedy stage, but that's where they're at, is they're deciding what the remedy is from the state for these plaintiffs. and everyone's kind of tight-lipped at this point. You know, they don't want to impact the process.
They don't want to muddy the waters by yapping
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get some sort of solid remedy for the resource as a whole, and we'll be able to talk to them about that.
Is this going to end with the state like cutting a big check to somebody?
I don't know. I think it's going to end with a restructuring of the commission and just like, sorry, this is the new way we're going to try it. That's what I imagine. But you know, we asked the question earlier, is like, what is
like
this?
it's a remedy play, not a money play.
I think so. And
because then it wound up being a class action lawsuit, I guess, between all people that hold. Oh, I'm on the hook right now to get money from Costa Del Mar, the sunglass company. I'm part of a class action lawsuit without even knowing it.
I just got
because I was charged. I was charged for repair. Next time you see me and Randall, we're gonna have gold teeth and shit.
I just got paid in a class action lawsuit, my first one.
Wow.
Fabulous.
How much?
It's more than you think.
4 digits.
Wow.
Damn. I always wound up with like $2.71 when I was in class.
What
$2.71.
There's a big antitrust lawsuit against a bunch of colleges and universities and how they administered and offered financial aid. So there's a big lawsuit against like University of Chicago, Columbia, all these, and it was like a 4-year thing. Every 6 months, I go, "Oh yeah, what's happening with that?" And I Google what's happening with it, nothing. And then one day, I just on my phone, ding.
Wow.
Yeah,
Somebody's getting a new.
I know. I'm probably gonna make $3-4 on this Costa deal.
Right.
Unless I choose to withdraw my name, which is very complicated. They're like, you're in it, and if you want out of it, it's a bitch. But the one I'm excited about, where it is a big deal, is I'm in a class action lawsuit against the AI company Anthropic for many of my book titles. So there's this whole class action lawsuit where they were stealing from writers to train AI models, and you can go into this big database, and my name's in there like 8 times for books.
Nice.
And it's like real money. It's real money.
I'm also in a class action lawsuit against NBA League Pass.
I get emails about that one almost every day. Like the last
I'm a big
month.
class action guy now. Big time class action
The last month
guy.
I've been getting a lot of those.
Yeah.
How much you stand to make there?
I don't know, but
I should go sign up for that.
I'm on a roll right
now. That was
now.
inspiring, Randall.
I'm 1
you got
for 1.
4 digits. That's inspiring.
Low 4 digits.
This Anthropic deal, this could wind up being like I think it could wind up being like 10-12 grand, dude.
Whew.
Yeah.
Right. You gonna give that to the Land Access Initiative?
No, man. Well, a lot of it. So a lot of it is a lot of it's MeatEater books, but some of my personal stuff is in there too. So stay tuned. Anyways, are you wrapping her up?
Yeah, it's just like what kind of door does this open? You know, I could see it getting real squirrely real fast as people compete. Like, you know, I don't have any deer here now, and it's because the commission, they screwed me. And it'll just be really interesting. I think it's generally positive. You should go vote for your constitutional right to hunt and fish. But who knows where it'll go?
I wonder if it's going to make it more difficult to get that, you know, passed together in the future in other states, because now that they're seeing this constitutional right has teeth. Now will a state like Montana be more worried, or somewhere else, about the possible ramifications?
Yeah, I don't want to get into details on it, but when they tried, my understanding, which is like fresh, new, I'd never heard this. It was tried in the past in Montana. You know the term like strange bedfellows? What's the opposite?
Husband and wife.
I don't know.
Match made in heaven?
Strange enemies.
Oh.
It was pointed out to me that there was some strange enemies to the right to hunt and fish. Not who you'd think would oppose it. And it could be because stuff like this, where people are like, man, this is going to turn into a big old headache for me. Right? Not who you'd think. It could be. Like these commissioners could be like, or whoever, they could be like, oh, damn, I knew this was going to happen. This is going to come around and bite me in the ass. And here they are.
It will be interesting.
Tough titties, that's what I say.
Drones?
Yeah, buddy.
Drones continue
It's
to
the
hit.
end of the show.
Save the best for last, I see.
Yeah, best for last.
Drones continue to hit the New Jersey headlines.
That was a great headline.
You like that? Not for more nighttime creepy light flights, you may remember back in 2024, which led to thousands of tips to law enforcement and temporary flight bans by the FAA. Jersey coastal town officials are reminding anglers that it is illegal to knowingly or intentionally use an unmanned aircraft system, or a drone, to take or assist in the taking of wildlife. Per recent New Jersey statute.
Sorry, what are you reading from right now?
I typed this up last night.
You're reading. This is your own thing.
I'm trying not to.
So you came up
read
with
a
the headline
script
that
here.
has the word headline.
Yeah, you could put this in a newspaper.
Dude, you could. If I had a newspaper, I'd be running it already. I wouldn't even read the rest of it. But go on.
We should start a website. It's called like themeateater.com where we could publish this
Put
kind
news
of
stories.
and things.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, first timer here.
Got to figure out how to make money off
this is phenomenal. Go on.
Do good.
Per the recent New Jersey statute, offenders could be slapped with up to 6 months in jail and up to $1,000 fine
Oh, man. For what?
for intentionally trying to catch fish with a drone. Specifically sharks in this case.
6 months in jail.
Mm-hmm.
What are you in for?
Fishing.
Drone fishing.
Yeah. Ocean County towns of Mantaloking and Bayhead have recently been cracking down on anglers who are using drones to carry and drop baited hooks, lines, or chum off public beaches into the surf, specifically for shark fishing. In the last decade, drone fishing for sharks has become very popular on summer nights.
Because
along
every
the Jersey
cast
shore.
is right where you want it.
You can drop it wherever
Every
you want.
cast is perfect.
And
So
and
crazy.
way out there.
Way out.
Mhm.
Yeah. As a Montanan, sheltered Montana boy, fly fisherman, this is very new to me, drone fishing. I knew it was a thing, but I really looked into it.
You're not going to have a drone drop your fly here and there?
Probably not. I can cast better than a drone, I think. Where am I? It's very popular, and for good reason. This new techie tactic allows anglers to fly or cast their baited lines hundreds of yards out to sea, drop their baits beyond the break, fly their drones back, then wait for a strike. It's highly effective, as we were just saying. And as shark sightings have increased in recent years, especially this summer, the draw from anglers to hit the shores to fish for sharks has also increased. But many beachgoers have expressed their opinions that the practice may be creating a Jaws-like situation that puts swimmers at risk.
Well, just ban swimming.
Good luck.
I also think if you can get the baits out further with your drones, that's probably better.
That was my
for the
initial
shark
thought.
risk.
Is like, you're getting the bait out yonder.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, okay, fine. I'll throw my bait like right there
Mm-hmm.
where you're swimming.
Not only bait, but supposedly there's been some chumming action going.
That's
and maybe
that feels
drifts
to me a
in.
little crazy.
Yeah, that might drift some.
That feels a little
blood
like you
in
dump
there.
30 pounds of chum. Yeah, that feels a little nutty. But
I like it.
Most
the
common,
idea.
the most common species targeted in the area are brown sharks, sandbar sharks, sand tiger sharks, and spinner sharks. But the concerns coming from law enforcement and beachgoers are the large apex predators like tiger sharks and bull sharks that are being lured in by anglers. They're worried that people could be mistaken for chum, especially small children.
I would say if I'd written it, I'd be like, the chumps could be mistaken for chump.
Try that next.
Masterclass on headlines.
Yeah, goodness. According to the University of Florida International Shark Attack file, dating back to the 1800s, there have been 15 recorded attacks along the Jersey Shore, including the 1916 attack in the Matawan Creek that was said to be the inspiration for the movie Jaws.
Was he drone fishing?
I doubt it.
No.
There have been many attacks. There have not been any attacks in 2026. The last known attack in the area was May 2023. So these concerns of luring sharks closer to the shoreline are just out of precaution.
Yeah, it's a solution looking for a problem.
Mm-hmm. Trying to keep everybody happy.
There's plenty of gripes you could have with drone fishing, and I do think that dropping chum on a swim beach is potentially of poor taste.
Yeah. And they're doing it at night when folks aren't typically swimming.
Yeah.
Unless you're.
But the
maybe
big
a Jaws
argument would be
situation.
if you're getting it out hundreds of yards and you say, like, hey, don't use a drone, doesn't that same guy then go down with the same bait and plunk it 50 yards out?
And he wades out to his waist and dumps a bucket of chum and then wades back.
I mean, I'm just confused about, is this coming from hysterical beachgoers who don't really know what they're talking about, or is this coming from an informed perspective?
A little bit of both, I believe. A lot of concerned beachgoers, and I think there's some science behind it too. You know, extra sharks coming
Are
in.
real shark anglers wanting to do this though? Like, I feel like the guy that actually wants to cast and do some real fishing, this isn't going to appeal to that person.
I think it's a big
think
thing.
so?
Yeah.
This is a dude that wants to drag a big old hoss up on the beach.
there is
no
no
matter
what's
going on.
Yeah, I saw one shark earlier this year, I think from Florida, that was just a giant. And what they'd done was take a huge bait out deep with a drone, drop it, and then you're sitting on shore waiting for them.
Long drop, boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the drone thing, just using drones to find bait balls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking drones, dude. I hate them.
Did I tell you?
I like them for the military. I hate them.
They're getting to the point in the whitetail world that people are installing drone detectors on their properties.
Good.
Because they're worried about people snooping on their property with drones. Because the drone use has become so ubiquitous now.
Dude, I'm going to hire some Ukrainians, man, to come down and just take care of that drone business, man.
I'm with you.
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, when
but
are they
you
going to
better
sell
not-
like drone jammers and stuff that anybody could buy? I had a drone hovering over my house the other day. I talked about this. Hovering over my house. My wife ran in the house. There's a drone right over the house. I was going to shoot it, but it was already gone. And some guy's like, well, you're technically not allowed to shoot it.
Yeah.
A guy wrote in like a correction.
Mini.
I'm like, I would love to go to a judge and be like, guilty. I shot a drone 50 feet over my house.
What were you going to shoot it with?
Shotgun.
TSS.
Well, that's one of the in the
Guilty as charged.
in the corner crossing stuff that was happening in Montana a couple of months ago with the state coming out and making a case for corner crossing being illegal. One of the things that they mentioned was that sort of the sanctity of one's airspace is tied to this drone issue, right?
There was some precedent, right? They determined some airspace.
And so they were saying
threshold.
well, if corner crossing's legal, then anybody could fly their drone into your backyard and snoop around.
Yeah,
your
but
yard.
I'm not always that concerned with being consistent. I tell my kids all the time,
Oh yeah.
that's not fair. I'm like, okay.
I dove into the local New Jersey Reddit hole, and there have been many
sounds
concerns.
Is that a bar?
It's sticky. There have been many concerns from recreational anglers who are worried about the growing popularity of shark fishing in the area from those who are not practicing ethical catch and release habits. As stated in the New Jersey Fish and Wildlife Marine Digest, if a shark is caught but not kept, it must be released immediately. But unfortunately, a few bad apples have chosen fame over ethics and are dragging sharks too far onto the beach to pose for photos before releasing the sharks, endangering the shark's health, of course.
It's the drone's fault.
Well, making it easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just drone anglers doing this. Anglers should know how to catch, handle, and release fish in an ethical manner and have the right equipment to quickly release sharks back into the water. Using a drone to assist in fishing has been explicitly banned in Hawaii, Texas, Michigan, Kentucky, North Carolina, Alaska, and of course, New Jersey.
What?
Yeah, Texas was kind of a surprise. Many of these state regulations...
Texans, man, they don't like that word one bit, ban.
Many of these states, including
Texans,
Texas,
are out on bans.
They reference the 1971 Federal Airborne Hunting Act that bans shooting, killing, or harassing animals or birds from an aircraft. But as with many written and unwritten drone laws, the evolution of regulating this new technology is slowly catching up. But you should always check with your local state wildlife agencies to get the most up-to-date local regulations before fishing with drones over any body of water.
Do you know that song? His name is Rick. He's got the itch.
Sounds like a commercial.
No, it's Rick. Our camera guy likes flying his drone,
Oh,
and he's like he tries to make up reasons to fly it,
sure.
and then we'll sing the song. His name is Rick. He's got the itch. He's a drone enthusiast.
It looks fun as hell.
There's an old man in my neighborhood who
Fishing with a drone.
flies model airplanes around. That brings me joy. When I see him at the park with a model airplane, a drone doesn't bring me joy in the air.
Well, the sound, you just hear that sound and you know what's coming your way. And
I hate them. I hate them. It's like I just hate them.
Yeah.
Those people are lucky I'm not like the emperor.
For many reasons.
I would give
Chain lightning.
I would take everyone's drone and give it to the military. I think the military should have more drones they know what to do with.
I got a buddy who drone fishes, but he's got a little boat.
Yeah. I remember
That's
seeing
cute.
those
You
in
like
the-
that?
That's cute.
in the old, like the old Cabela's catalog or the old Bass Pro catalog. I remember seeing the little boat with the pincher on the back for your line, and I always thought, man, I'd catch some bigger catfish if I had that back.
Yeah.
There's something cute about that.
Yeah.
So boat drone's good, flying drone's
I'm not
bad.
saying it's good. I'm just saying And that was a great report. You're not done, are you?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
He takes it back.
It finished just on time. It was
I
a
know,
great
I was
report.
looking
It's
at
got
the whole time.
it's got the wheels turning big time. But like outside of
Gosh.
any individual
Newsman.
issue, if someone say, "Well, what about recovering? You wound a deer, and the drone helps you recover." I'm like, that's really great, man, because no one wants to lose deer. No one wants the deer to go to waste. No one wants the hunter to have to live with not being able to find a deer. But just so they're like, okay, I have some sympathy there. Well, what about this or what about that? I'm like, okay, I have some sympathy there. But I just mean generally, my general attitude toward them is I just hate them, except for the military. I think they should have a boatload of them.
Yeah, I think restrictions are going to get tighter and tighter as the years go on.
Well, they're just becoming more and more popular,
And
cheaper,
Yep.
easier to use.
Yep.
It's so invasive.
Yeah.
It's like having an anal probe, but in the air.
Can't.
But in the air,
Yeah.
over you. But my body registers it the same.
Pain in the ass.
Can't relate to that one.
It's not a laughing matter, man. All right, thanks for listening to the news show. That's a great report. This is upcoming talent right here.
Yeah.
I'd be careful.
Good
September's
headlines.
coming. Unavailable.
What's coming?
Unavailable.
You should have bombed.
Oh, I know.
If you'd have come on and just bombed,
Right.
and you're like, well, I guess I'm out for September, huh? That's too bad.
Let's try again this winter.
Yeah, January, let me try again. I might be able to do a good news story in January, but I need some time to reflect on how bad I bombed with September coming on. All right, thanks for listening to the news show. Find us next week.